Hello friends, so there's an interesting story that I heard the other day about three witches. They were around in the Middle Ages, and specifically in the 11th century in Scotland. It was said that they could predict the future, a power that they used to foretell that a certain general named Macbeth would one day become king of Scotland. Now, these witches, which by the way were characters in Shakespeare's play Macbeth, were quite appropriately named the Weird Sisters. And not weird as in strange or unusual, but rather weird in the original sense of the word, that is, fateful. And that makes sense, given how some have pointed out the similarities between these three witches who appeared in Macbeth and the three witches called the Moirai, or Fates, in Greek mythology. And of course, the similarity is no coincidence. You see, the word weird used to be a noun. It's derived through Middle English from the Old English word, or fate, a word found in many Old English works. For example, Beowulf, where it appears over a dozen times, and denotes fate or destiny. And word is itself derived from the Proto-West-Germanic wordy, and if you go one step higher, the Proto-Germanic wordis. And if you go even further up to Weird's most distant ancestor, then we get the Proto-Indo-European root werd, from where we can see many of Weird's distant relatives in modern languages, most of which have a meaning very different from the English word, and also represent different parts of speech, such as the German and Dutch verbs werden and worden, respectively. Both those words are likewise all about fate, and what will be, so to speak. Another interesting one is the Russian noun vremya, denoting time, the French preposition ver, that is, towards, and interestingly, the English noun worth, among hundreds of other cognates. So anyway, back to word. How did its meaning change so drastically over the centuries? Well, Shakespeare preserved weird's meaning in Old English when he gave the Weird Sisters their name, but used a spelling derived from the related Middle Scots noun weird, which denoted one's lot in life. Now, in the play, the Weird Sisters were portrayed in a really, weird way. They said weird things, like hurly-burly, and muttered weird incantations for potions with, let's say, odd ingredients. All that, combined with their sometimes frightening behavior, especially in later reproductions of Macbeth, generally came to be described as weird. So that's the weird semantic evolution of weird over the centuries, which, like its synonym strange, derived from the Latin adjective extraneous, is definitely a little out of the box, if I may, when it comes to origin stories. So yeah, that's the story of the three witches, whose prediction at the beginning of the play that Macbeth would become king of Scotland turned out to be, as those of you who have seen the play will know, etymologically quite weird indeed. Thanks for watching.